Good feedback is about more than what we say. It's about what we hear. And I don't think it's a coincidence that some of the best feedback givers I've ever met also happen to be some of the best listeners I've ever met. Good listening is what makes it possible to read people's attitudes and motivations. It promotes reflection and dialogue, and it helps us pick up on those subtleties of communication that often go undetected. So, if you want to improve the flow and the feel of feedback, listen up, because these practices can sharpen your skills. First, check your understanding. It would be great if feedback came with a set of instructions. It's super hard to grasp the purpose and intent of feedback, especially when people are using things like praise sandwiches to disguise their true intent. Unless we understand the feedback that we get, we can't act on it. So, if you're not sure what to make of feedback, check your understanding with prompts like these. Can you give me an example of what you mean? Could you explain that part again? Or how do you see this impacting my work or the work of our team? Next, be reflective, not reflexive. When someone shares critical feedback with us, our first instinct is to dismiss the message, maybe even the messenger. That might make us feel better, but it's not going to help us get better. If we want to get better, we have to act like listeners who spot the problem behind the problem, not just the what, the so what, and the now what. And to do that, we may need some self-imposed wait time, a period of quiet to consider what that feedback actually means. Hold yourself to a few moments of silence before speaking, and you might get a better signal. And finally, listen for those silent signals, because with feedback, what others show matters more than what they say. Body language and other nonverbal cues, those are the silent signals that are full of information if we're prepared to look for them. Paying attention to how feedback is shared, it turns out that pays off. Researchers found that people volunteered less information and spoke less articulately when speaking to inattentive listeners. But when they perceived others to be more aware of their body language and their nonverbal cues, they ended up providing more relevant and detailed feedback even without the other person having to ask for it. Well, if that's the case, then the best way to get others to share more is to listen more. So try it. Listening is the art form of feedback. If we want to level up, we need to listen up. When we take stock of the feedback we get from others, we might just be surprised by what we hear.